Today on Driving Through Life, when is the best time to just cut your losses and pay someone to do something for your business? And a little bit of a business update, so stay tuned. All right. Welcome, everyone. It's a beautiful day here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Coming to you from in front of my dirty ass GTO. I really need to get that washed. But today, what I wanted to talk about, a couple of things. I wanted to give you a little bit of a business update. Haven't done that in a little while. I want to tell you how the business is going along. I want to talk a little bit about when it's okay to just say, you know what, I'm going to pay someone to do this for me for my business. And I also want to talk about marrying an idea. So first off, a little context for this conversation. BHR has been something that I have had for forever, really. I mean, it's a brand that I came up with my buddies who used to race. Came up with it like right out of high school, you know. So I've really had this brand, and it's been rejuvenated a couple of times, and I had a shop at one point, and all sorts of different stuff. Sold parts, was a big contributor in the Subaru community here in Utah. You know, it's gone through a few iterations, but I want to talk about getting married to an idea first and foremost, because I think that's very important to always be able to keep that perspective. You know, for example, I have had BHR, you know, like I said, for a very, very long time. About a week ago, I was meandering through drop shipping sites and, you know, looking at building a website and watching YouTube videos. And it kind of struck me that maybe BHR Performance is not the best brand anymore. Maybe it's not the best brand to get across what I'm actually trying to do. Now, my business license is still under BHR Performance and everything like that, but that's not going to stop me from moving on maybe a little bit of a new direction. Now, my initial feeling, and it was really weird, my initial feeling was it felt like I was cheating on a girlfriend or something like that. It felt like I was giving up on the idea of BHR Performance. And I realized, you know what? It's just a name. Comes with a lot of baggage too. You know, I've had it a few times, and honestly, I've been lazy with it a couple of times and had a couple of failed attempts at really getting it going. So, you know what? Don't be afraid to take a step back, take a little perspective and say, is this really the right decision for my current business and where I'm at? And if you're creating a brand, is that the best fit? So I have just always assumed that BHR Performance was going to be the performance parts brand that I would always stick with. As of a couple of days ago, that's not going to be the case. New brand will be coming out shortly, which leads me into my next topic. Next topic, let's talk about learning how to do something versus paying someone to do something. I'm a guy that likes to do it myself. Now, that poses an interesting problem when it comes to building a business, because this business, it's just me with some help from friends and family, etc., every once in a while, but mainly it's just me building this business. I've never built a business like this to this extent with these goals in mind before. So I have to learn a lot. Now, you guys have seen my videos before, hopefully. If not, like and subscribe, you'll see a lot more. I've had to learn video editing. I've had to, and I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg on that one. Learn about building a website, learning about drop shipping and outsourcing products, outsourcing clothing. Doing all of these different things, it can get a little bit overwhelming. Now, there's a cost factor there when you're starting a business on a very limited budget. You can't afford to hire an employee that's going to do all this crap for you, right? Which totally makes sense. And I am starting this a little bit low budget, but you know what? I don't have any really crazy time constraints, so I'm okay being a little bit patient with it, even though I'm not really a patient person. So it led me to really start considering, what am I spending my time on? I spent an enormous amount of time learning how to edit videos, enormous amount of time learning about thumbnails and posting to YouTube and tags and Instagrams and Twitters and Facebook ads and all of this stuff, right? So when it came to actually starting to build a website, I'm like, shit, I have done this before. And it was a long time ago. And me and my buddy, you know, I remember staying up hours and hours and hours till 4 o'clock in the morning, adding products to a site, et cetera. And it was just a pain in the ass. Things have changed. Technology has progressed, obviously, quite a bit. But with the things I'm looking to do with the website, I looked at that and I said, you know what? I can either take time and learn WordPress and get back into HTML code and all of this stuff, or I can have someone do it for me. Which one makes more sense? If I want to get it done in a good, a decent period of time, a realistic period of time, it makes a lot more sense for me just to have someone else build it. Now, the cost is, of course, a factor, but taking it in stages and pulling money from different parts, you know, money that I have in stock trading accounts, you know, when I trade stocks, taking a little off of that, if I make a little money, extra money here or there, yard selling, putting that, prioritizing the business and the money that I'm making elsewhere, I'm able to set aside enough to have a web developer at least get me started, because I can either take the next 2 or 3 months learning how to build a website, build a basic website. It's probably still not going to look that great, or I can spend X amount of dollars and have someone do it for me. Which one makes more sense? Obviously the later one. Same thing with designing a logo. Man, I'm horrible with Photoshop. I have an idea in my head of the direction I want to go, but making that come to life is a lot more difficult when you're actually creating it yourself. So does it make more sense for me to go through that learning curve and learn Photoshop, or I actually use Krita, but I'm horrible at it, right? So spend all these hours and hours and hours just attacking that learning curve just to create a logo? Or does it make more sense to go somewhere and have them create a logo for me? Again, that's basically a no-brainer. We want things done effectively, but I also want things done correctly. The best way to do that is to pay someone to do it. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. Fiverr is a great example. I didn't even really know that Fiverr has grown so much in the last 7, 8 years, to where now you can jump on Fiverr.com and you can get people to do virtually anything for you. Creating websites, though they're not the ones I'm going through, creating logos, doing video editing, doing all of this different stuff. They have a pool of contractors where you can hire them and their costs are up front. Now, I'm in the process of getting a logo design, so I'll let you guys know how that ends up. So far, my experience has been really, really great. And so far, it's been really, really cheap. So be strategic about your business moves if you don't have a ton of money. Synopsis on this short little video: don't get married to an idea. You know, always be open to new philosophies. When building a brand, be open to new ideas. Learn from others that have done it before you. Keep an open mind in an ever-changing market. Number 2, there are definitely times where it makes more sense for you to just learn how to do something. In other words, Gary V, follow the dude on Instagram, listen to his podcasts, etc. They're really, really good. Gary Vaynerchuk, he says, I like to be a little bit dangerous in everything. And I can safely say that I'm a little bit dangerous in a bunch of different categories, but there is that bell curve. There is that curve where it's actually going to cost you more money in the long term, attacking a learning curve, learning something new and applying it effectively and professionally versus just paying someone to do it and maybe learn it down the road, which is kind of the direction I'm going here. So pumped. So yeah, websites getting done, drop shippers are getting lined up, payment process is getting lined up. It's easier to find someone that just does all that crap for you, except for the drop shippers. I would definitely recommend finding those on your own. Got a great little company that once it's done, I'll share with you kind of what they did and the website they did and what they charged and all that good shit, but not yet. Cat's not out of the bag yet. New name and new logo and all of that crap coming real soon, so I'm super pumped. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for listening to me ramble on for 10 minutes about my business and what's going on with it. Like and subscribe if you like the content. I'm trying to ramp up the content a little bit, where you have some car videos one week and some business related stuff the next. But you know, just bear with me. Like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I want that bottle of whiskey. Go out there, build your dreams. Don't be a dick. Make someone's day. And as always, keep on driving.